The end. Hey guys, we're back. Second attempt. The Dow's over 50,000. So what's your problem?
Yeah. The interest rates and housing market. Yeah.
I brought in
All
my
those
I brought in the
really-
doppelganger to see if I could see what was going on in the studio, see if my shit was working right. And somehow I shut off the original video. We were talking about all kinds of movies that scared us.
But we came up with a new travel show that me and Marv are going to do together. So
We're going to go around to our favorite places to eat, like Guy Fieri.
Right, like nobody's ever done this before.
Jeff Blanchard did one of these, remember? He goes to restaurants and eat.
Oh, yeah, I think he did.
Yeah,
but we're just going to do specific,
Yeah, we're stuff we want. We're not even. We may just get the burger and eat it in the car. We don't.
Yeah, we're going to keep it in a genre. Well, maybe we'll go to a picnic table. It doesn't have to be in a car. Yeah, that. But then the car smells like.
We're gonna look like the monsters in Predator. Big jowls. I'm as big as I've been in a long time. I need to either lose weight or go for more.
What if we walk to these places?
Ooh, we could trim down. Remember Schizo Bill's book, Walk Yourself Handsome?
I do.
Because he didn't have enough money, so he walked everywhere. He got real skinny for a while.
But he also rode a bike too, right?
I don't know.
I thought he rode his bike.
I don't know. We were closer then. We're not very close anymore.
He's winning. He's Mr. Celebrity, winning contests and everything. He's out of our trajectory.
Yeah, he's a winner.
Poor Marv.
I paused it because I had to go crap myself, people. No. No. We wanted to talk about things that we wouldn't be legally responsible for.
Right.
I don't remember what we were
talking about.
Like
the Dow! Oh my goodness!
Dow is almost
awesome!
Oh, and I have no stock.
Shit. I do. It's tanked. It tanked terribly, and now it's just getting back to where it was almost before. It's not like.
I mean most of the people who are bothering to watch the Pam Bondi hearing, they don't have stock.
Well, I want to get back to real quick because we were talking before about things like you were talking about way back when, about way back far when you first
restaurants, Bordenburger,
right?
People,
right? When you first heard, who was the guy that did Citizen Kane?
Orson Welles.
Yeah, when you first heard him over the radio do World of Worlds.
Fuck you. It was a movie.
And people were panicking. You were talking about that, and people were like running to bridges and trying to hang because they thought all the aliens are coming. So what was that like, Marv? Let's go into that a little bit and talk about your experience.
That was 1938, John. I wasn't born yet. It was kind of like when some unnamed comedians get drunk at comedy festivals. It reminded me a lot of that, a lot of destruction.
So, but let's kind of talk about how, because a lot of the, and I kind of feel for them a little bit, the Gen Z people and maybe a little bit millennial people, they don't understand how politics was before this I don't know what this Trumpian I guess escalator or downslide or whatever you want to call it.
When I was growing up, the big difference was where you stood on fiscal policy between Republican and Democrat. You know what I mean? It was you had a position, conservative, which you didn't take chances. You tried to just make sure the rich people did well, and Democrats would be like, oh, well, we think there should be positions to help people up who are having trouble. We should provide shelter for people. families that have some catastrophic thing there should be a what's it called, a lifeline, a net, safety net, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much a Democrat. Just, well, yeah, you can do well, but we can't forget the people who are lesser than us. And Republicans are always like, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. You don't need welfare money. You can do it by yourself. If you don't do it, you're just a lazy piece of shit. That was a big difference, like, that I can recall. And conservatives invested in banks and trusted their money there, and they did the stock market, and everyone else just kind of made paycheck to paycheck. Most Democrats are paycheck to paycheck people. But they were doing pretty well, though, when the factories were open and the rubber plants were open and the cars, we were making cars. Everyone was doing pretty well. That's what the boom of the 50s and 60s was, that era.
And so I guess I guess my idea would be more in the 80s, where, do you remember where, even if there was like let me just be specific. Remember Gary Hart, whenever he was just having an affair with the lady?
Yeah.
And that ended his entire political career.
They don't even know. All they know is they took a picture of him with a woman sitting on his lap on a boat.
Right. Do you remember when Howard Dean yelled weird and his career was over?
We're going to
Right?
ruin his
And
career.
they were like, "Oh, he doesn't have the temperament."
Yeah, he's out of control. It's out of control.
Do you remember when Michael Dukakis wore a helmet weird?
Ruined him.
Over.
Done.
Donald Trump,
literally orange.
but not only, like, he reminded me of, you remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger ran for governor in California?
Yeah.
And there was like, there's all these crazy wackos running.
Like 300 people running.
Right. There's like 300 people running. Even
every
there's
movie
a
star.
porn star running. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of in 2016 when Donald Trump first announced he was running for president.
There were like 12 people on the stage when he ran. And he sat back and made fun of everybody. And people loved it.
And
little Marco Rubio, little Marky. Who else did he make fun of? Oh, he told the woman that ran the computer company, "You're so ugly. I can't." She was, "Oh my God, look at that face." He made fun of, what was her name? Called her ugly to her face.
Rosie O'Donnell. Well, and then he would like just spout off about Rosie O'Donnell randomly.
Rosie O'Donnell all the time. She's so fat. She's so ugly. I can't believe. Shut your mouth, Rosie O'Donnell. That was the beginning of the end. But really, the beginning probably was when they could attack, when they went after, things changed when they went after Bill Clinton. What was that land purchase deal that they said?
Whitewater.
He lost. Yeah, they lost like $60,000, which is nothing now. But they lost money on this deal, and they accused him of trying to do all kinds of crimes. And they arrest people who wouldn't testify against Clinton because they wouldn't tell him what he wanted. They put people in jail for like half a year and shit. You remember? Then they eventually let them out, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't even know what their point was." They wanted to say that Bill Clinton was doing stuff illegal, and he wasn't. So we wouldn't say it. Remember all that? When they went, I think things changed during the Clinton thing because they were so. I mean, Rush Limbaugh might be the reason for all of this, if I think back on it.
I mean, actually, the reason for all of it's got to be Reagan. Whenever they got rid of the fair and balanced, right?
Yeah.
And then Fox has the nerve to put fair and balanced as their fucking tagline.
Right. Used to be a rule that if you gave one side 10 minutes, the other side got 10 minutes.
Right. And then they took that away.
And people wanted, news stations used to be news, but then cable came out and they started becoming entertainment, which was Fox's defense. And when they got sued for lying about the 2020 election.
You said they're entertainment, not news, right?
We're not news, we're entertainment. Yeah. And that's Sean Hannity. They call themselves news until it's not convenient to be news.
Right.
Then they're just entertainment. Look, these are just my opinions, you know. So
And then who you remember who prosecuted? What we're trying to allude to is all this shit that Donald Trump does, like every single little minor, even the little minor things that are still would have been huge before, are like minor things now compared to all the other stuff that he does.
Ken Starr went after Donald Trump for getting a blowjob, which had nothing to do with.
Or you mean Bill Clinton? But
Bill Clinton, right. Yeah.
Ken Starr also later on defended Epstein.
Yes. He's a buddy. He's a buddy. Ken Starr, in my opinion, is a big piece of shit. And two-faced, because he got caught doing shit too. Worse.
I mean, on January 6th, I thought, okay, this is it. They've got to, even if they saw the tape and then everything that happened, they've got to at least arrest this guy for sedition, for something.
Yeah.
And nothing happened.
Several of those guys were convicted of sedition, and he pardoned them. But you know what? We're leaving out too. The moral majority. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was a big thing because these child evangelical preachers got on TV and they started preaching politics. You know, which back in the day preachers didn't do that. And then they started saying we're the moral majority, and if you're not with us, you're against morality. You're a bad person. Blah 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 blah. Right. All that.
And then they need a donation too on top of that.
And then what really ruined the
Righteous
world,
Gemstones.
What really ruined the world was this.
It's me, Mario.
Kids started playing video games. That's what destroyed America right there. Video games. Mario Kart. It's all about the coins, baby.
Isn't it crazy that eventually developed into warfare where you can use a drone as like a video game?
Oh, really? It came from Mario Kart?
I mean, it's the same. No, it probably came from I forget the name of the there used to be several pilot shooters on the computer. Commodore 64, Doom. I know, had one called something Pilot.
Doom was one of the first I remember.
Doom?
First person fighter.
Yeah, that was one of the first person thing, but there was plenty of like
in television had a Dungeons and Dragons or something. I used to play. It was just like a stick figure would go in a room and you'd hear and a snake would, and you had to kill the snake. You ever play in television? I gave one of those to Marty. I didn't give it to him. I loaned it to him, but he sold it. So I'm not getting it back.
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Intellivision was a video game series.
Oh, okay.
It competed with Atari. You remember Atari?
Yeah, I remember Atari.
Intellivision was
Television.
Intellivision. It was the best system. It had far better graphics than the others.
But it was a stick figure.
Right, but Atari won out back then because it was easier to get, a little less expensive. And it I used to play a game called Bump and Jump. It was fantastic. I remember playing it on television.
Bump and Jump.
Bump and Jump.
Oh.
Pretty much the Epstein philosophy of life, I think. I think, yeah. I'd say. Maybe there's a bump and jump sound here on my soundboard. Let's see. You would jump up in the air and land on top of a car, and then you would get points and go faster. Okay. No, there's a chicken on a tree screaming. These are not bump and jump sounds. I put in bump and jump and I got skeleton with shield.
Yeah, people don't realize when you take a chicken's eggs, they scream like that because you stole their babies. You just gotta get past it. You steal and eat their children for your breakfast.
You're right. What the fuck are we talking about today?
I mean, it's all just. Well, the point is that there's so much shit that this guy is taken, has done,
gets away with.
Gets away with, and it's
No
all
one-
because of his followers allow it.
No one, John, would have ever put military in the fucking streets before like this guy did. It was only in response to riots has there ever been military in the streets, to full-blown, out-of-control riots. He puts them in the streets for nothing. And then he brags, there's no crime in Washington, D.C. anymore. Yeah, because no one's going out anymore. No one's going to restaurants. You put people out of fucking business with your fucking military in the streets. Guys sitting, it reminds you like you go to a third world country and they're sitting around with M16s. That's what America is now.
Well,
It's just like those third world countries.
And then and you show people the video. Well, that's not exactly how it happened. When that's exactly how it happened.
Yep.
And then there's like this willful amnesia, and then they go ahead and vote for him again.
Hey, they went down there and stole all those voting rolls and everything with a false affidavit. When they looked at these search warrants, they know that they fucking lied to get them. Everything in it was a lie.
Yeah, but Marv, we're acting like any of this shit matters. When in the end it doesn't. It's just another pile of shit that we would have to go through after all this is over.
Republicans are going to be so voted out of office this next election, and they're going to say it's not. It doesn't count. This election was rigged. It won't count.
It's not going to matter if there's no election, bub.
There is going to be an election, but it's going to be fake. Authoritarians have elections, John. They love elections.
Right. Isn't he pushing to nationalize it in the SAVE Act as we speak?
Because they're going to win all the elections, 96-2 or something. It's going to be ridiculous numbers. And if they lose, they're going to say, well, that was fake. Here's the real count. And they're going to stay in office.
But you remember what I asked the co-pilot a couple of months ago, right? Like, what are the chances that we would still, have an election? And then I put in all the variables of Donald Trump and breaking norms and just doing whatever he wants. And what did they put it at? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember at all.
70%.
That he will steal the election?
That he will somehow break the election so there's not either not going to be an election or that it's somehow rigged in his favor. 70%. Do you put anything past him at this point?
No, nothing. This is a man who raped children, in my opinion. Why would you put anything past him? This is a man who walked in, I know for sure, on naked teenagers and then bragged on the radio about it.
And so what do we know about?
It's so fucking perverted. And people out there voted for that. You voted for a guy who admitted, I owned the pageant so I could walk in and see the teenagers naked. What the fuck, man?
So let's think about all of these large predators, right? And what they did in order to get closer to their victims. Like Sandusky, what did he do? He went into schools and taught wrestling, right?
Shower with the kids.
So, and he started taking kids to places with this charity thing, right? To get closer to children. That's the same thing Donald Trump did whenever he bought these pageants. It's the same thing.
It was his access point.
The guy in London, the Jimmy Savile guy, the Jimmy Fix-It guy.
Yeah.
He had all these wishes for all these kids, and then it found out he was messing around with the kids.
Yeah.
It's the same. And no one, and everybody's shocked.
He's so selfless. Look how much he does for the children.
And then the other part of, he's suing the United States government, the IRS, for $10 billion. But, hey, he doesn't really need the money, and he's going to give it to charity. Then how about you don't do it?
Well, the guy who did that wasn't in our government. The guy was a contractor, and he's in prison. and he's going to sue the government for what another person did. And it's, I think it's going to be tossed, but you don't know. If it's a Trump judge, anything's on the table. He's fucking disgusting. He's a rapist, according to the court case in New York, right? The judge said, yeah, well, we didn't convict him of rape. We said it was something else, but all intents and purposes, he raped a woman. He's a cheat. He's a liar. He's a thief. He admits he's a pervert. He admits that he spies on teenage girls when they're changing their clothes. I mean, this man has been married 3 times. He buried one of his wives on a fucking golf course. And then they don't even take care of the grave for a tax deduction. I mean, God, there's nothing this guy wouldn't do. He's Putin. Epstein probably has videos of him doing horrible things. Epstein.
Where do you think the MAGA line was whenever they kept saying it was okay?
What? Oh, they just said none of it's true.
It's got to be January 6th. Where like there's no other coming back from
They
that.
say it's not true, John. I talked to a dude. He goes, "That was clearly an FBI setup." Well, you're fucking nuts. I go, "I'm not even
right," but that's them being willfully ignorant and telling themselves other things. But that's what I'm talking about. The compromises that they make in their head in order to justify why they still support the guy.
It's racism is the root of all of it. They don't want anybody that's not white running anything. And white men. They don't like women either. They're fucking sick.
So you think it's all bitter white men?
Yeah.
Whether they're young and bitter because they can't.
They teach their kids to be bitter and stupid, and they tell their wives how to vote and shit like that. And then only a third of the women are, 60% of the women wouldn't vote for Trump for any reason.
There's a decent amount of women.
There's a good 35% of women that love Trump, and I know a lot of them. And they're ignorant. They're willfully ignorant. And
but there's always it seems like a certain amount of women, because I experienced it when they would call when I worked at the comedy club, and they would specifically not want to hear a woman comedian.
I believe it.
And because they would literally say to me, well, I don't think they're funny, or I just think, I want to see a guy is funnier, or just make the point. I'm like, wow. So I think that there are a select part where there are just some women who don't, I guess, like women. Is that a weird thing to say?
Yeah, women haters a lot of them are women.
They're
like jealous.
But then there's also
it's like when a comic makes it big, how we all hate them.
But there's a whole nother group that are just on board with the agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no matter how many rights of theirs they take
Women
away,
got no business telling the man how to run his family. You know that. It's in the Bible, John.
There's a lot of crazy shit
in the Bible, John.
There's a lot. Yeah, I love how we get the Bible as the world's longest game of telephone that then got printed down, and how we're gonna say it's the gospel of the one and true and only. Give me a break.
He walked on water, John.
I done saw it. He wasn't on a raft or nothing. He was surfing. That's what he was doing.
He took one fish and fed the multitudes, John. He took one fish and fed the multitudes.
I mean, you could probably do that with the fish. Depends on what your number of a multitude is. I mean, if you really break that fish down. Fish broth.
He turned water to wine.
He
turned water to wine. What else did he do? He didn't have a factory or nothing. He just did it. He's a magician.
What if like this was like 7 different people and they just put it all into one and like,
I was watching I don't know, it was on YouTube. That guy who's a mentalist, what was his name? People think he's bending spoons and shit with his mind.
Yeah, it was on CBS. It was a pretty good show.
Uri something. Uri.
Oh,
And
different
they
guy.
showed him on the Tonight Show, and he couldn't do any of it because he didn't have his own props. They put their own stuff out there, and none of it worked.
He had like fishing line. Did
Uri
he have
Geller, that was his
Okay.
name. Yeah, I mean, it's all fucking rigged.
Well,
maybe you think Jesus could have been a really good magician?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think people were dumb, have been dumb for a long time. So I think it's easier to fool people back then than it would be today a little bit. But you can still fool people today with fucking AI and cameras and everything. Imagine how easily you could fool fucking idiots back then. And the word spreads.
Look, the sun is blotting out the sky. The sun is being blotted out.
Right? I mean,
he controls the sun. He turned it off in the middle of the daytime. It's an eclipse. Oh, well, I don't know about that.
So
Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. That says it all.
But I think that there was a point where we could have avoided all this. You think if Jim Comey didn't put out that report that Hillary became president?
I think if they would have counted the votes in Al Gore election, things might be different.
Yeah. But we didn't. Nobody marched. Nobody.
Several reporters.
Capitol.
One newspaper said they went and counted it, and Bush still would have won. So we don't know, because what was considered a legal vote isn't cut and dry like we think it is.
And do you remember who was there, like sitting snug and tidy, looking at all the hanging chads and all that bullshit? Do you remember who was one of the main people?
Steve Bannon?
It was Mr. Shaggy Mustache himself, John Bolton.
Yes. Yep. And he was deeply conservative then, but you know, even his conservatism now is not even close to what MAGA is. You know, I mean, John Bolton was a nut. He would have got us.
He is a nut, but that's the bad part is when the nut is starting to say
they'd come after the nut for saying he's not nutty enough.
Right. I mean, that was the crazy part. It was like John. Okay, it was like, here's John Bolton up here. He's like a fucking neocon. You know, let's bomb Iran right now. And then you have like, even he's saying that, like, look, the shit that Trump is doing is, at least he wasn't stealing. You know what I mean? Yeah. He might be saying war everybody, but he wasn't just a fucking thief about it.
And now he is. Now he's just taking money. And look, everybody's playbook is you got to bribe Trump. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, you give him a trophy, you get what you want. I mean, it couldn't be any more clear than that.
Give him a trophy, and give it. You got it. There's money with those gifts too.
Right, and everybody gives it a pass.
Yeah, because they know that there's no Department of Justice that will do anything about it.
Well, and also there's a certain faction of the country who believe that this is exactly what they wanted.
Yep. They would just scream to high heaven if Hillary Clinton took a hamburger without paying for it.
And so now, let's think about what the agenda from that side is. Okay, your argument is that you get rid of all the illegals, and so there's going to be more jobs. Your argument is you get rid of all the illegals, and you know there's going to be more houses and apartments.
And the big thing is all that illegal voting that didn't happen.
What they're not going to realize is that these people have been inflating the number of illegals that they said have been taking everything for years.
Yeah, it's like Biden let in about 4 million, and they say it's 20 million constantly. And Biden kicked 2.8 million out of the 5 that came in.
And really, we should probably look at the immigration rates from the Italians and the Irish, and what was the millions and percentage, and the German, and all of those waves that happened, and then in the post-Vietnam and those waves, and see probably the percentages probably aren't that much different, or probably more when the Italians and the Irish came over.
We were fucking better then. No,
I would like to see those
We're not fucking
percentages and
enough.
numbers,
We're not
adjusted.
fucking enough now to keep the white people in power, John.
What's that?
We're not fucking enough to keep the white people in power now.
And that's their own fucking fault. That's their own fucking fault for making everything too unaffordable and not paying anybody because they want to be greedy fucking pigs. And then they want to go close to their death with all their billions. And then they realize, oh shit, I really can't take it with me. Like some fucking Egyptian Tut, or not Tut, but you get what the fuck I'm losing.
Yeah, you can put it in my tomb with me though, right?
Right. Yeah. You can put that with me. No, it's like, oh no. Here in America, you need to put your name on shit. And so then that's when you get Carnegie starts buying things and doing things for everybody when it's all just a bunch of bullshit. And you got Ford doing the same thing when it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. People used to have a little monicum of decency, and they don't have it anymore. Now it's just I want to build a legacy of me.
Well, it's just back to
and that's Al Franken's fault, to be honest, because he did that bit on Saturday Night Live about the me generation, and that's Al Franken caused all this.
Oh, it's Al Franken.
Him and Tom Davis did the me generation stuff, and that's what Trump took it to heart, and that's why we're where we're at. Al Franken and Tom Davis did this. Saturday Night Live ruined the world. That's my position now. Right? Saturday Night Live? Can we agree?
I just think that the
What's been around longer?
I think Trump and the billionaires have decided that this is back to the robber baron days when railroads and they could buy and do anything they want. And then they've proven that with all of their billions that, think about it. Robin Leach, an ancillary character in all this, who just had a TV show that kind of connected all of these people together because he did Cribs before it was Cribs. There was a witness that said that he strangled a girl in front of her, and nobody's talking about it.
Robin Leach strangled a girl?
Robin Leach.
Allegedly.
The lifestyles of the rich and famous guy.
I didn't hear that one.
You don't know who that is?
I know Robin Leach is. Welcome to Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
He's like the connective tissue to all of these people who might have been, part of his production staff for all we know, running people back and forth. But this was an entire network of people. And that's what they're able to do with their billions and billions of dollars. And they want to keep that power at any cost.
They want to kill. They want to have sex with children anytime they want. They want to have their own islands. They want to beat anybody they want to beat. They want to treat anybody like a dog. Like Trump routinely calls women pigs and fat and ugly. And he gets away with it. No president would have ever got away with this shit. No.
Not only that, Marv, not even that. Now they want their own planets.
Yes. That's definitely Peter Thiel shit right there.
That's all of their. If we could come up with remember what was the Star Trek? Was that Star Trek 1 or 2, the Genesis Project, where they drop a seed and then everything turns okay in the planet and you can live there and all that kind of shit? If somebody developed that tomorrow, these jackasses would be coming billion.
It's AI. They're going to build their own worlds and live in AI.
Well, yeah, they'd have to put themselves in some sort of tank or something like that, and
kind of cocoon.
Self-sustaining.
Right. We need Pam Bondi got interviewed in Congress this week, and she was an absolute asshat. All she did, she has a little burn book there, and anytime they'd ask her a question, she'd just come back with an insult. And somehow she got her pages wrong because she was accusing people of the wrong things the whole time. Like she was saying, Jamie Raskin, you're quite the traitor, aren't you? And he's actually, no, I'm not. I have money in a mutual fund, but I don't do any trading whatsoever, and this isn't funny. This isn't funny. You threw up at a Borden Burger one time when you were a child, didn't you? You went swimming with a dolphin and you jerked him off in the house filled with water, sir. Didn't you do that, sir? This crazy shit out of her burn book. She didn't answer any questions. Everything was like, well, and she just that burn book is a joke. That bullshit.
And then at one point she said, "All this is about me." No shit. Who did you think it was going to be about?
We're here to talk to you about the Epstein files. Well, let's talk about the that was over $50,000. This is the greatest president in the world.
But I've got a question though. How come no one said, and maybe they did and I wasn't watching at one point, where look, there's a reason why we didn't question anything to Merrick Garland was because they were already prosecuting Ghislaine Maxwell and he couldn't talk about it. Did anybody
they should
go
say
through that with her?
They should say it, but they don't say it because it's. I don't know why they don't say
So
it.
here was the question I wanted them to ask. I wanted them to say, Pam, do you believe that Donald Trump is an intelligent person? And so when she goes off a rambling tangent on how intelligent the Fuhrer is and how glorious and amazing it is, then I would say, so why is it that this genius level of a human being could not connect the dots between Jeffrey Epstein liking young girls and the fact that he was trading them with his other billionaire friends?
Well, they did find him admitting that he knew Jeffrey Epstein was.
Exactly. So then what is her response?
Who was it that told on him? Oh, the police. He said, he called me and said, thank God you're getting this Epstein guy who's been doing terrible things to little girls and stuff. And then he's acting like, no, I don't remember this phone call.
Well, and then the thing that the one girl that shot herself in Australia, who didn't shoot herself, more than likely, it was probably, suspicious on that end as well, said that she was working at Mar-a-Lago when Epstein asked her to come do massages at his, house next door.
Right.
And that's how she got into it. But then he goes there, but she was already like, I think 17 doing massages there anyway.
Right. And he was like, I kicked him out for stealing my,
right. It was just like, he stole Trump's bit. That's what he was mad about.
He stole my people. And you're like, that's kind of gross sounding right there. He stole your people. Like,
yeah, he stole his bit.
Then they find out Trump didn't have to go to Epstein Island because they had those parties at Mar-a-Lago. And there's Michael Wolff said he saw multiple pictures of Trump sitting around with naked girls, who he questioned their ages. He says he doubted if they were old enough. Topless women and shit all over Trump. So, I don't know. All right. What else do we need to cover before we do this?
Well, let's go over. We got to at least go over what's going on with the party balloons in Arizona that Hegseth tried to shoot down, or what is going on with that?
There's a weapon system that uses lasers to knock drones out of the sky, and Department of Homeland Security decided to use it, but the problem was they hadn't had it cleared with any airports or planes or anything, so they're just basically trying out this new weapon system on the fly.
So you're just using the fucking cat laser.
Yeah, they could be hitting passenger flights. They weren't careful at all. They're just fucking idiots. Which, that's this administration.
Spaceballs.
Yeah, there's no one talking to anybody. There's no one coordinating anything. We got a drunk in charge of the military. I want to be lethal. Yeah, well, you're going to kill your own people. I mean, let's face it. Trump's going to kill more humans this year than any president in peacetime ever.
Is it weird that Kash Patel just kind of inserted himself in Mexico and he was just like, well, I was on my way there anyway?
Yeah.
Is that kind of...
And they kind of kicked out the FBI for a little bit because they were being a bunch of dickheads and shit to the sheriff. Now I think they're back into it, but there's just no consistency with this administration. It's all all by the seat of the pants. And Kristi Noem's apparently having an affair with Corey Lewandowski, and they have a secret room on one of the $70 million jets that they bought for them to fly around the country and jerk each other off as she plays pretend cosplays as a leader of the DHS.
Now, are
People want to
they
fire.
both divorced, or are they both?
No, they're both married.
They're both married.
Yeah.
Because they said that, or somebody was saying that he was having a fit over he needed a badge and he needed to carry a gun, and
He wanted a gun, right? He wanted all that.
Yeah.
But why can't he have a gun? Is because he had a record or something, or what?
And then and then a pilot left her blanket on the plane, and then we talked about this last week, and they but why are these things a bigger story than the president of the United States being involved in a global sex ring with other billionaires? Do you remember in the 90s where if you just mentioned sex and politician that it was wall-to-wall coverage for 24 hours a day? But now it's like tweet, tweet, tweet. I like, you hear it, but it's not like they have free CNN headline news.
Hey, he was a billionaire. You gotta expect him to be fucking everybody and everything, John. It's okay. He gets a pass. Free pass. It's Donald Trump. No one voted for him because he's a decent human being, John.
So what are the odds? Was this a Israeli honeypot, or was this a Russian honeypot, or was this a CIA honeypot? Or was it all three?
I'm going to go on the limb.
All three.
I'm going to go on the limb and say, since he attacked Sesame Street, it was a Sesame Street honeypot. I think Sesame Street was trying to keep
the bird.
I think Big Bird did it all.
Fucking Big Bird.
He kind of can fly. I don't know if he can fly or not. I imagine Big Bird could fly.
You know what would be hilarious? Like if all of these billionaires like got together and then they said, well, it's none of us. It wasn't Epstein. There's another guy called Mr. Big. That guy
did it all.
That trillionaire. He's an oligarch.
Mr. Big did it. Oh, and we got to mention Lex Wexner. It's the shit's hitting the fan in all the emails. Lex gave Epstein control of his entire financial kingdom.
Yeah.
Let Epstein run all that.
Power of the attorney too.
Why would he do that? Why would?
Now.
And then Lex Wexner gave money to our senator, John Husted, gave him $115,000. And then the senator promptly voted against the release of the Epstein files after he took money from one of the co-conspirators.
Could it be just as simple as those two had a relationship, and, you know, Epstein and him had a relationship, and then they also enjoyed having cameras throughout, and then they would tape all this shit at all the places and used it as currency, you know?
This is a guy who runs Victoria's Secrets. You tell me he needed Epstein to get women.
But it's not about need. It's about power, and about using someone else to get more power. And he can just sit in his mansion and jerk off to all the other shit that he's making happen, just, you know, by no one knowing who he is.
Well, the bondage shit that's coming out in these emails and stuff, the horrible sex crimes that are coming out, it's just horrible. And it's just, you lose faith in humanity. And I try to assign these people a decent amount of morality, and then they never fail to let me down.
Well, I mean, it's like some of these people, when they accumulate enough power and enough money, and people start telling them that they're a good person because they have money, it makes them think that whatever they do is okay, right? Because they're being propped up by numbers just because they have it. You know what I mean?
Yep. I know what you mean. All right.
And I was trying to think if there was anything else that we're forgetting this week. There probably is.
Can you read that? Because it's backwards on mine.
Moskowitz and Caitlin
But I
Collins.
mean, is it backwards on yours?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it down below. It looks right. Okay.
So, and then we talked about Iran in the previous thing, that he's just going to make the same fucking deal. It doesn't matter if he's putting his boats over there or not. More bombings in Ukraine. That's not letting up at all. He kind of forgot about that, didn't he? Wasn't that supposed to be solved in a week?
That's because AOC said, you sent me the clip, they're just planning on dividing the world up amongst them.
But we've been talking about that for 2 years now, Marv.
Yeah, but Xi and Putin and Trump have just decided we're going to get the Western Hemisphere. We're going to get the Americas. You can have Europe and Asia, Putin, and China can have the entire
Asian and Pacific Rim.
Asian and Pacific Rim, right?
So I guess that leaves Australia and New Zealand out, huh? They're just like, nobody's going to.
That's a good question. I don't know. Okay, our prediction.
But like I said, if the people listen to the show, they've been seeing that those are the next steps for a while now. I mean, we said before.
Oh, yeah. Call me a good boy. Call me a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy.
Oops, hit the wrong button, John.
Yeah. You know, we're only at 46 minutes here.
I know, but we did 20 minutes before and it got wiped.
You're gonna link it up? Okay.
You got wiped away. We can put it up if you want on the Bordenberger experience.
I mean, that was like down a hole, never get back.
We need a prediction. What's going to happen this week?
I don't think Noam's going to get fired. I think that she's too good. I mean,
he's just not going to fire anybody because he don't want to respond to public pressure.
He needs them to be Trump light.
He wants to show that he's the dictator and he does what he wants. He's not going to fire him. He won't admit a mistake.
Where's he going to move the ICE soldiers to now? Where are they moving to?
2 weeks ago, we said Ohio.
Yeah, but I don't really go out much, so.
I'm surprised to be Ohio in that.
Let's do this. They find Nancy Guthrie alive.
We find Nancy.
Yeah.
I think she's dead.
Well, I don't want. I kind of do too, but you know, let's do a hope.
Let's hope it comes true.
Yeah, they find her. Hopefully, they find her alive. Although, do you think that this has shades of some sort of? I don't want to jump out on a limb here and say maybe we'll talk about this afterwards, but it just seems like that the people that have taken her it seemed like that they're part of this whole, you know, faction of the MAGA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It just has got those elements to it that I don't trust just yet. The ones that think they're playing soldier and they're doing something for somebody else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no
rhyme or reason for it.
Repercussions for
it's
going
just
out and doing what you want to do to people. There's no downside to that in their minds.
Right, that they're like,
it could very well be a January 6th guy
or something.
It could be a January 6th guy. A lot of them have gone to prison for shit now that they all got freed. Could be directly tied to that. One good thing.
Well, what was one good thing from this week?
Liam, the little boy Liam, got released. He gets to stay.
And he got a Grammy at the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, he got a Grammy. That wasn't him, though, was it?
Yeah.
That was actually him?
Yeah, I think that was him.
I don't know. I don't think he was free to do that yet. I don't know. Wasn't he still in?
The 8-year-old will not be allowed to accept Grammys that are not his.
Wasn't he still in like custody or something at that point?
I don't think. I think he'd released.
I'm going to Google that. We Google burger chains. We can find, did Liam get a Grammy? I think it was just a kid that looked like him.
And then all of MAGA was like, but he didn't deserve it.
Kid Rock came back and he was not the child who received a Grammy.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay.
His name was Lincoln Fox, a child
Okay.
actor. He's an actor.
Okay. Maybe he was supposed to represent that. I don't know.
His name was Lincoln Fox. That's a
Okay.
great name.
My bad. My bad. I thought it was the
My
same
name is Lincoln Fox.
kid. Didn't get out yet. That's
Well, let's
messed
just say
up.
Bad Bunny was a good thing, right?
Yeah, it was a good
It was a
show.
great show. It was great. Nothing controversial.
No. I mean, why would we? Again, nothing will ever be as bad as the Indiana Jones one.
I don't. Who was that
It was literally Indiana Jones.
at the
There was
Super
no
Bowl?
there was no halftime show. It was like a scene. It was trying to be a scene from Indiana Jones. That's what it was, and it was
For
him.
the halftime show?
Yeah, and it was him going, and it wasn't the real Indiana Jones. It was some actor.
It's like what
And-
they do at Universal Studios.
Yeah, and he was traveling through a thing, and there was the ball chasing him and everything like that, and he was going, and he got the Lombardi, and it was like he brought it back to the stadium and
I
set
don't
it up.
remember it.
That was the halftime show.
You know, I never paid attention to halftime shows very often, to be
But
honest.
that was the early 90s,
Yeah. All right. Who's a hero of the week?
maybe 96.
Who could be the hero?
I
Did
mean,
you ever know that you're my hero?
I think some in Congress did all right. I think Massey did pretty good, right? I think
I think when
Ted
Jayapal first had her turn and she refused to turn around, she was the first one. Look at this. Look at the victims. How many of you asked to talk to her, and how many have talked to her? And
Right.
The Justice Department has not talked to any of them. And then the guy followed up and did the same sort of thing. But I think Jayapal, is that all right? Can we put her up?
yeah, I think any one of those. My beard is
Okay. Now, performer of the week. Oh, it had to be Bondi.
that's easy, right?
Yeah,
That's got to
Bondi,
be
right?
Bondi. Yeah.
The Dow is at 50,000. It's fucking iconic.
Right. I mean, nothing gets more performer like than all of that. I mean,
That's
Jesus
gonna
Christ.
live. That's gonna haunt her forever. The Dow's at $50,000 to the greatest president. Thanks to the greatest president. Well, which one of his policies did that? Shut up.
Oh, and that's another thing that came out in the last couple of days. Okay, the job report apparently is better, but I think it was New York, not stock exchange, but the New York bankers, I think, came out and said, look, after the 15th time, we're trying to tell you tariffs are not good for consumers. They are a tax on both seller and consumers of stuff that comes into the country. By the way, yet again, for the 1 billionth time, I mean, what do we want to do with the power rankings here?
It's getting redundant, huh?
I mean, Miller holds close at 2, but you
Yeah,
know,
Musk at 1. Musk didn't do anything this week, did he?
no.
Well, yeah, the emails came out that he was trying to get in on all the action, and they acted like they didn't want him at the nobody.
They were like, even he's too weird for us.
Elon, I want to come to the party.
And then they're like,
the
"He
parties
thinks
are
he's
over.
funny."
We're not having any parties, Elon. We're not going to have any parties. I want to come to the rape torture parties. No, you get too weird. So maybe
he
he
makes
is
it all
still.
about him.
And Miller is just fucking and his wife did she said something super stupid this week in the Olympics. What'd she say?
I don't know, but Tom Tillis is not running again, right? He's retiring.
No. But he's been ripping Trump.
He's been
Thomas
going to town.
Massey. These are people. They're not helping Trump though. We need people that are helping Trump, right?
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying, in general, Tom Tillis has been going after Miller, like taking him to the woodshed just about every day.
Yep.
I still think Miller's got to be at 5, even though I think he is losing ground.
You putting Levitt is out, right?
Yeah, we got to see him show himself again, like he did on so many other occasions. He needs another like really outburst.
How about Trump's brown spots? They're getting worse. Where do we put that?
You can put that at 4. I mean, Bondi's got to be at least at if Trump loves the Bondi appearance, loves it. So she's got to be at number. No. Oh, brown spots. Yeah. Bondi's got to be number 1 with a bullet. That's like his girl right now.
Oh yeah.
They're all inside MAGA world. They're all jealous of Bondi.
He's jerking off every
They
time
think
she
she'll
comes on
get
the
good.
screen. He's got his dick out, flogging it every time she comes on the screen.
She
right?
is like front and center in the Bukkake circle.
The greatest president that's ever lived.
Right.
What she
And
said.
I think we got to put, I don't think they're in the top 5. I don't think they're anywhere close.
Vance
But I
is
think
getting
we
the
got to
shit
take,
boot out of him all over the world, though.
yeah, but I think we got to take a special role for Besant and Lutnick. I think.
Oh,
those
Lutnick.
two-
Fucking Lutnick. What a fucking.
But think about how diabolical it is, Marv. that
I want
in
to tell
your
you something.
cabinet, you put your co-conspirators of your global, worldwide fucking sex trafficking ring as your cabinet members. Maybe not Besant, but he's probably
John?
at the New Mexico ranch.
John, I met him 7 steps from my house. I went in his house. He did a tour. He took me in the living room and he showed me a massage table. And my wife and I looked at her and I said, I never want to be around this guy again. Never again. Never. I don't want him in my life. He's just gross. He's disgusting. He's gross. I never want to talk to or see or be around that man again. This is 2003. In 2012, however, I forgot and went to lunch with him on his own fucking rape island.
And I took another family and my family and
Yeah.
their
And the
underage
kids.
daughters, the
Yeah.
ones that he's really into.
For lunch with Epstein. The guy that I said is gross. I'll never be around. What a fucking idiot. He got caught in his lie so bad. And you know what? Does anybody care on the MAGA side? Is he going to answer for his
No.
blatant hypocrisy and lying?
Because they've already compromised themselves so many other occasions on all the other shit that he's done that they're still talking as a look like, oh, well, hey, he's gonna make the Iran deal. Isn't that good? Isn't that good?
You mean the deal we already had he's going to make?
Right.
Well, who else is a piece of shit so bad that we need to include him here? Lutnick really burns my chops though, because he was so adamant. I'm moral. He's just, I'll never be around this guy. And then, oops. Yeah, you will. Besant.
Well, I think Besant, I think he's getting he's going to get a spot there, but I think it's got to be Johnson, right, for adjourning and basically saying, "Yep, you know what, government's closed.
Yeah, we're not
doing anything else." He has been a better speaker for Donald Trump than fuckface from California ever could have hoped to have been.
Right. He's totally subservient. He will do he'll do whatever the Donald says. So that's our list. Miller, brown spots on his hand, rooting for the brown spots. Mike Johnson, Lutnick, and Bondi. Good list. Good list. And they're gonna find Nancy.
And I mean, and that goes without saying that like Jared is like the jewelry store. It's always around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jared is always going to do the extraterrestrial bidding of wherever Trump wants him to be.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put both of them up. The other one's just going to end abruptly.
Okay.
It was fun talking about burger joints and
Well, when do you want to start
movies that
going
scared
to
us
our
and
first
stuff.
one? We should do like one a week.
I don't know. I mean, just getting out right now is not the easiest thing. So we got a place in mind. I could come up. I could do a spotlight Tuesday night, and we could go eat before that or after or what. What you got a place in mind?
There's a couple places.
We're gonna video it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring my gimbal. It does nice videos.
What's your gimbal? Okay. Yeah.
It follows your face and shit.
Okay.
Like a cameraman.
Okay. Maybe we should start. Maybe we should talk to somebody and start with the Steve's Lunches.
How do you talk to somebody? What do you mean?
Well, no, I'm not talk to somebody, but if we want to have somebody with us, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you
Or
know,
we can
I'm.
do boys.
I'll talk to you about when we can shut off here. You ready to
Okay.
go?
Yeah, let's hit the boys.
Hit the boys. It sounds a little Epstein-y.
That's the New Mexico.
Can you hear? Can you hear the boys? Are they playing?
Yeah, I hear 'em. Look, I mean, it is reasonable that if you're running a global sex trafficking empire, that you diversify. If you are a crazy mathematician, you know. So the ranch was for the gay stuff.
Oh,
Island for the straight stuff.
you want to mention the ranch stuff? We didn't get into it, did we? Sasha Riley says that's where he got raped by. Allegedly, he got raped by Jordan. Who else? Oh, the guy in Arizona.
TYM Jordan, right?
Yeah,
Jim
Jim Jordan.
This is all.
I don't know if he said they raped him, but they were all involved in his raping. That Trump raped him and stuff. That they were all involved to some degree. Jim Jordan, the guy Dole. What's the guy in Arizona? Andy Biggs or something, or what was it?
Yeah. Well, and this is the craziest part was
Gosar.
if your name comes up in these files and these emails and stuff like that with all this other crazy shit going on, that how can you not believe that, you know, just because you have a ranch in New Mexico that the same shit isn't happening there too, or wherever else that you have
And
properties
look,
and shit.
In England and all these countries in Europe, if you're in those fucking files, guess what? You're gone. You're out.
Well, and think about it, and people are like, "Oh, well, how do they have the capability in order to kill these people and erase them?" It was like, I'm pretty sure if you're a prince of a country, you have the wherewithal and the people available to you in order to do these things, in order to keep it a secret, mainly so you can keep your position. Sounds like, I mean, it sounds like any fucking action movie we ever watched in the 80s and 90s. I mean, it's pretty simple.
In England, the Stormer's in trouble, not because he knew anything about it, but because he didn't take care of the prince in a way that was bad enough for the people. They're upset with Stormer because he didn't fuck the prince even harder.
Well, he nominated one of his diplomats to be a diplomat for the United States who was in the Epstein files,
Right.
on several occasions.
All over the world, people would have shown up, and a woman just quit her job because she was in the Epstein files. She was being in charge of something.
And let that sink in. The president of the United States is still in power, and nobody.
38,000 times.
It's more than that. He said it's more than 1 million times.
I never heard that. I heard 38,000.
And there isn't wall-to-wall coverage on all media news
And
outlets.
We can't
But
get
it's
the
a worldwide
fucking.
sex ring.
We can't get the files out though. They're not going to
Yeah,
show us.
it doesn't matter. If there was, look, then they would be interviewing all of these victims, and they have, but like it would have been 24-hour news coverage.
Why can't we pass a law that gives the victims protection against all this, so they can come out and tell their truth? But they can't say anything because they're afraid of being sued by these rich bastards and shit. You know what I mean? They're still scared. The victims are still scared, and they should be, because
Yeah,
all
they
the
should be.
MAGA nuts want to kill them, because
Not much
they're bringing down the fucking perverts are being brought down, and they want their perverts to stay in power.
billionaires with no conscience or idea of what that actual regular people matter, are in control of their lives. You know what I mean? So it stands to reason that they're scared. That getting rid of people or trampling on people are part of their everyday of doing business, especially when, you know, you have Bezos who just says, "Oh, I'm just going to get rid of the entire, Washington
We didn't
Post
bring that up. Yeah, he's got it.
backpage
He's
just
got it
because
to
I
take it.
can, not because I need the money, because I
Nope.
can, because it'll consolidate my power and the power of the people that I help."
Right. I don't want people knowing what's going on. I'm going to shut the paper down.
And the man started out by selling books.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to limit information.
He's a piece of shit. We all need to cancel our Amazon.
Have they declared what planet each of them want? Have we seen anything on that? Which planet each one of
No.
them wants to take?
No. It's a good question, though.
Until
What
next
planet,
time.
what planet would you want? I'm guessing Earth. I'll take
I
Earth.
mean, yeah, but they're seeing Earth as a,
Way station.
yeah. I mean, they want to figure out how to get their own planet where they can have their own fiefdom and do whatever they want.
You think they already know other solar systems that are really nice planets? You think they already found them and they haven't told us yet?
No, because everything that they would know is all theoretical. It's not like, I mean, maybe they've got some pictures, but they don't have any satellites that they've sent out yet that is giving pictures from other planets that they
That
landed
we
on
know of.
out of this solar system that we know of. You're right. That we know of. You're right.
You have more money than God, there's a problem.
Yeah, especially if they're probably trying to develop their own ways of traveling without the use of spaceship because they know it's going to take so goddamn long.
Right. All right, let's get out of here. We're saving the world, John.
We're trying, Marv. We're trying. Look, you can't believe us, but you got to do your own research.
Do you? That's a Joe Rogan cop out right there. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to endorse this guy.
Yeah, but we don't endorse anybody.
Oh yeah, we do.
Well, there's one guy we don't endorse.
We endorsed Rodney Bankston.
Rodney Bankston for president.
He's our man. Take care.